Hello again, welcome back. This is going to be episode number 2. I find this hardcore to be rather easy, all the way down here. But I want to try to see how the various places are. See how the environment is and what kind of animals we have, what kind of growth we have of vegetables and fruits and stuff. I know for a fact that if you go further up to the more north of Europe, you will have a lot less. That it goes without saying, especially during this timeline. But it's going to be interesting to see how the environment looks with the new rivers that is coming out into the ocean, to see the deltas and how the rivers are. What can we find by the rivers? Do we have tons of reed? Do we have any fiber at all? It's going to be interesting to see. So I can't wait to keep on moving, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to migrate up and down the rivers a bit and by the deltas, and yeah. So I'm just gonna literally stay until some of the animals are becoming extinct, and then I'm going, hey, I wanted to move to that thing over there, but the that regional tribe is in the way. So when the larger animals are fewer and more or less extinct, then we are moving on. Or yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of scavenge running as well. A little bit, not necessarily for the food, because it won't last that long, not necessarily for the leather, because that won't last that long either, but I will do it for the flint cores and the fine raw stones, and for the crafters to make a lot of weapons and tools and everything that we need for when we are landing and becoming sedentary. So with regards to how priority is working, I know very high likely that all of you have already figured out a way to do it, but it is literally just you have to control each and every work spot. So what you could do, I haven't tried this, but this is a way to get back the free group or free people group, and that is to put all groups except that at one gathering group on priority, because that will almost be the same. That means that all the other groups that has the priority will always be picked before the one that has no priority. I mean, it's one way to do it. It doesn't mean that is exactly how we should do it. Yeah. So that is a way to do it, definitely. I might cut down video a little bit, not because it's so difficult, but because it could be a bit boring. I think it's a little bit boring when it's so easy. So what I'm actually doing now is it's a bit of a wait game. Just keep your tribe alive while you wait for the timeline to be correct to do some farming. Let me see. Oh, he's got a weakness, doesn't he? Let's have a look. Yeah, he's weak is not the worst. That's not the worst thing you can be. So I'm not too bothered about that. Doesn't really have anything to contribute though. And she is feeble, or she. Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't think these are an issue. I'll just take them, because we're fairly small still, aren't we? What are we? We are 30 plus, yeah. We can accept a few. I would like to become sedentary before we get Neolithic options, and I want to be sedentary with no more than max like 75-80 population, I think, because anything else is just so hard up really northwest to survive. Especially after they changed the efficiency. I did make a patch note explained video, but I don't remember how much I talked about this explained. You guys have probably figured it out anyway. But in beginners, the efficiency is up to 75% better than it is on hardcore. So that is a little bit of a bob in itself. That we work harder but get less, much less. But it's kind of what I wanted. I don't want it easy. I wanted it easy. I was just stay on either beginner or normal. So yeah. See, I'm gonna make. Oh, I have cats that is very busy disturbing me. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah. Anyway, what was I gonna do? I forgot what I was going to do. Never mind. I was going to do something. So when we get palisades as well, we are going to put up palisades. Not while we are doing scavenger hunts, because that's no point. But when we land, we're going to start fencing in areas. Even though we don't have farming, we're going to start fencing in areas anyway. I'm going to fence in the work area where I have all the crafting materials and stuff. And then I'm going to make our fenced in area ready for the farms. I just hope that we can get enough option to get fine raw stone as time goes by. They have increased the wood we get from, or the logs we get from trees, and the efficiency of the lumberjacks. So I don't think that is a problem. The problem was, and always will be, that we don't have enough fine raw stone. Time to move. So that's how I do it. I give one builder group all the items that I will, or mostly the items I want to dismantle when we leave. Then I put a priority on that group, and each and every item gets priority. Then I delete the group, but the priority stays, meaning that all the dismantling is then done by the tribe. It is much easier to do, isn't it? You guys probably do the same. You guys are probably figuring out the same. Easier. You know, it's just human survival. Whatever is the most efficient with the least used energy, that's what we do. That's why we have survived for God knows how many 100,000 years. I'm going to make them super happy. Look, they moved. Now we can go check it out. That looks so cool. That looks so cool. We get a river going into delta. We get a swing in the river. I kind of want it all. But it's a bit too easy down here in ancient Sweden. I said Finland to start with, and of course that's not right. Finland is on the other side of the pond, Lily. I get confused when everything looks so together, you know. We haven't been drowning a lot lately, have we? It's like it's calmed down. Probably because we're not necessarily so close to the coast anymore. Let's go further away, because I want her to die. She's old. I'm waiting for her to die. And when she dies, okay, then we can go and park ourselves. So we don't have to worry about having to leave quickly because of graves or lack thereof. Let's see, a little bit ocean, so we get clams. Actually, clams is not necessarily decided by ocean alone. You are basically guaranteed it by ocean though. However, here's the thing, you can also get it if the terrain is low enough. If you are low enough on the map, you can actually get clams and not be near the ocean. I have found clams further up in the southern of France, in the rivers, because it's been low enough, the terrain has been low enough for clams to be activated. So just be aware of that. It's not a bug, it has to do with height. And yeah, that's actually excellent, to be honest. Oh, that's rather dark. Oh, there you go. Right, let's have a look. Let's go have a look. Okay, so here we have the river and we have the swing. And then we should have, where's the ocean? It should be on the other side. Look at that. I love these bends in the rivers. I love building on them. It's very picturesque. What do you think? It gets really nice, and plenty crossovers. So these crossovers was created after they changed the height of things, so that things got higher up and lower down, sorry, and by that they made the rivers so deep that we could never cross. We lost half the map due to it. So I let the devs know after some testing that the utter majority of rivers was not crossable, so they had to do something, and they did this. They made sure that there are regular crossings on all rivers, except those who are too close to the ocean, so they more or less become a fjord, if you know what I mean. So look at that. That's actually really nice. But how much clams are there here? I didn't see a lot of clams. There was a few. There's a baby baby island. But remember that it is not a bad idea to park yourself fairly high up, but still within ocean reach, because you will get more fish pools and you will get clams. Just so you know that. Let's just go down here. So let me see. Let's get some stones. We need stones and a bit of sticks. Take away that one. Oh, you gotta go. You gotta go. We can do a few of these trees. We don't need to do 4 million. Just need something we can get off the fireplaces quickly. Fireplaces, the thing that they changed, this is quite a while ago actually, the things that the devs changed after a lot of complaints from me actually, with how they chose to try to avoid people migrating with big tribes. Are you crazy? We will migrate if we want to migrate, and I didn't want the devs to decide if we should migrate or not in the Neolithic timeline. I wanted that to be up to the player, and I still do. I still have that opinion that this is not a dev game, this is a game for players, you know. They need to think about what we want, and I don't want to be controlled in how much or how often or if I can migrate at all during the Neolithic timeline, depending on how much population I have. I don't want them to decide that. So I have argued to get rid of something. He wanted to, or they wanted to, punish the player by having instant unrest if they didn't have sleep spots when they landed. It was insane. Everybody left immediately. It was like, really? So I argued that they should not do that. You should allow people to wait before they get unrest after they've migrated. So what they did after a bit negotiating back and forth was that they made so that all unrest was incremental with the objects, which is why you will find that when they land, everything you build of houses, of fireplaces, will give happiness. Like the fireplaces is like plus 27 when you land. It's actually minus 27, because the system for unrest is, in my opinion, difficult to understand for anyone really. But happiness is minus and unrest is plus. Yeah, we can talk more about that some other time. I think most of you guys have already figured out anyway that all the items are high quality, and then they diminish as time goes by, because then you have time to build better, don't you? So if you get down a few of the bigger fireplaces when you land with a big tribe, you will have several days where they are okay with that actually like to sleep by the fireplace. Yeah. So yeah, that was done. Let's just get down some housing. Not sure how long we're going to stay here. Just have to wait and see. Let me see. I'm going to go over a few of the other changes that was done last year actually, because I haven't really gone over them yet. There was a lot of issues with the tool lack report. Remember guys, with the axes, if you had one axe and one lumberjack, that lumberjack did fuck all, because there was a bug that caused the lumberjack to think that he didn't have any tools, and it was really annoying. So they managed to fix that, so that was fixed, so you will never have the issue anymore, and I haven't had it since. What else? Yeah, so we also get what I asked for, due to that the efficiency was so reduced, was that I asked that they could carry more. So this is why the kilogram assignments came. So that's why you see they carry things in weight. They initially also had volume, but that became too difficult for new players. I said, too difficult for new players to understand. Don't make it too difficult. They are thinking too difficult, you know. It might be easy for them who have all the information they need and that has created it, but for anyone trying to figure out everything they mean, that's not easy. I mean, half the patch notes normally is not understood by anyone, you know. What is it? There were several things. I need to go over some of my older patches and see patch notes and see. For every patch there is at least two bugs at least, and for every new patch, some of the old patch has somehow evolved, come back, and it's a little bit different, but kind of like the same. It's the yeah, I guess it's something normal with games, or you know, with the coding. Anyway, yeah, everybody knows now that since so many players were struggling with understanding that the stalk was left in the field and the peas were gathered and only the stalk was left, they thought that they had issues understanding that these peas were actually harvested. You know, they thought that the peas was not harvested, and we have so many reports about it. And in the end, they decided to just remove the stalks as well. You know, when you gather the peas, the stalks disappear. Fixed, no more issue. You know, no, it's just it was constant that the new players thought they did not get the piece, but they did. Of course they did. I checked their reports and there was nothing wrong. It's just that the stalks were left behind. And you know what? If you are new and you don't know, you could easily think that you didn't get your piece, because everything else, when you gather it, harvest it, it disappears, doesn't it? On all the other farms, the beets disappear, the wheat disappear, and the flax disappear. For what? So yeah. So they just did so that the pea stalks disappeared as well. So that's not a bad thing. Oh, I need to mute my Discord, otherwise we'll have pings east and west, and I'm not interested in having that. So yeah, let's have a look at the here. Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, you're okay. Don't mind taking these. We're still fairly low in population, so I'm okay with taking a few. We also had some changes to how storage is stored in the open storage areas, because it used to be that they stood in a queue, even though you had like 50, I exaggerate to make a point, even if you had like 10 cells, they always stood in queue to put in the same bloody cell. So they changed that, so now all the cells can be put in at the same time. You don't have to stand in queue and wait to fill one cell and then one cell and then one cell, because that was just silly. Or the queues, you know, you had like 10, you had maxed out cells for a open storage area, and still they stood in queue to do the one. So that was changed. What else? Need to go over my notes. Yeah, we had a really fun bug before Christmas. The cherry tree was growing from the top down and not from the bottom up. It was hilarious. So you could see the crown in the top, and you know how it became bigger and bigger, and the tree going down and down to the ground. So there's quite a few funny bugs. One of my favorite bugs was when there was duplicate. I had duplicate tribe control. I could control 2 tribes at the same time. I said to the devs that, guys, this is the perfect start for colonies. You know, this is how we can do colonies. The bug has already done the coding for us. You know, this is how we can do, so we can make 2 tribes. You know, one here and then one further away, close to some resources and whatnot. So yeah, but that was a fun bug, but that's really a long time ago. I just hope they saved the bug so they can perhaps use it to code, because we are going to get it eventually. They have it on their consideration list. You know, the to-do list is so fucking huge. Oh god, I don't think it's going to get done within 5 years, to be honest, because there's so much they have plans to add, and there's so much suggestions they have written down on to-do list and for consideration from the players through the years. Tons of things, so much. Let's see. Blah blah blah. Yeah, and then we spent some time as well, quite a few weeks on changing the looks of the members, because they were ugly, weren't they? It's like they were 4 pixel faces, you know. So that was changed. I remember I did some of them, helped out with some of them. Yeah, I can actually do artistic work. Who would have known? Who would have known? So they did, to help new players, something that I got rid of fucking quickly, because that was the very bad move, was that they removed the citizen tab. You had no way of knowing. You could not pick out a single member unless you picked him out in map. There was nowhere in the UI where you had access to any of the members. And I'm like, are you absolutely insane? And I listed 50 million reasons why this was a bad idea. It might make it easy for new beginners who never know how to use the UI properly to start with, but it's a really bad idea overall. So they removed that. They took back the option to see the citizens in UI, obviously. What else? Yeah, so to start with, the kilo they had was too low. So because it kind of did no difference to what it was, and we wanted an increase in what people could carry, because on hardcore the efficiency was lowered so much. So they did that. At the same time, they also increased the amount of logs and sticks you get from trees. You can just, with the new system, the click any element system, you can just click anything on the map and you will get the information you need, including how much resources and what type of resources it have. This is something that you guys already have figured out on your own, of course. Is there no place where this plant fiber? Oh, look at that. 2 small tusks. Well, I'll take it. Oh, yeah, it's not going to work doing it with the defense tool. Try to take it with defense tool. Is that it? Is that it? Really? Oh, it's a small bundle there. Oh, that'll do it. Yeah, that'll do it. Let's get them. All of these, and all of those. There you go. Yeah. We don't want those. There you go. Just need a little bit of plant fiber to get the baskets going. We can stay here for a bit. This is a nice place, isn't it? I do like that they took the time to get more rivers, because we only had like 2 rivers in all of Norway, and 1 through. Did we have 1 through Finland, and then 1 or 2 through Sweden? That was it. It was atrocious. I think we have 1 in Denmark as well, but they have added more and more and more, and this time they added like a ton. So they have been working at least. One of them have been working flipping non-stop to get all these rivers down. They also, the prey options changed. So remember that to get the most spots, you take the altar. The thing that some players forget is that you can also destroy your tribe by adding too much. Guess why? Because if they are unhappy and you are in a gathering group, they would rather stay and pray all day instead of working. So you could end up with the entire gathering groups prioritizing to pray instead of, going to do any kind of work. So that's a bit shit. So yeah, that's not good. But you control that with how many spots you allow to be placed down with regards to offerings. So one offering is 1 spot. You have various spaces that you can do. 6, I think it's 5 and 8 and 10. And don't forget that the passage tomb, people can also stand and pray. Passage tomb. Or is it increases the speed of appeasement? Oh, okay, now I can't remember. Anyway, be careful with placing down too many of those offerings. If you had 10, you guarantee on hardcore, if you have unhappy people, those 10 will stand and pray. For sure, 100%. Let me see. Yeah, so the auto assignment to herding groups is a good idea. And you guys have probably figured out how it works, but I'll just quickly say it anyway. If you have no groups when you get an animal or livestock, the system will auto create one for you with one work spot. To control whatever is happening, the last group of herders you make will get all animals that is not otherwise in any other groups. So what you need to do, if you want to, of course, if you want to have a system, you make one for cattle, one for goats, and one for pigs. And the last one you made is where all will come into until you have divided them on each their group. So if you have a cattle with cattle, a cattle with group, oh my God, cattle's in a group, and you have not sheep, you guys don't have that, only me, goats in a group, and you have pigs in a group. If they come, when the migrants come with, for instance, a pair of goats, they will automatically be placed in the group with the other goats. Yeah, so that's literally how you do it. You will no longer have that you need to go find the animals and then assign them. But you know, you do use the assign anyway, but you are using it this time to put them in the correct groups, and not because you must do it every time you get one. Yeah, so remember that if you have, I have two groups normally. I have one for cattle and I have one for what I call meats, and that is where I put the pigs and the goats and whatever sheep I get. Yeah, you guys know I have sheep. I have sheep on Testing Server. Well, not here, of course, because this is the public. So yeah, I have one for cattle and one for meats. Let's have a look at you guys. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, nothing wrong with those. I'll take you guys. So that was a really good idea, because there was a lot of, especially new players, who were struggling with literally getting, you know, the gripping the system, understanding what are we supposed to do? Why is nobody joining my groups? And where are the animals? Why are they not in the groups? You know, so they auto assigned all animals to any group. So yeah, that was a good change, a really good change. It didn't work properly to begin with, so we had to do a bit of retesting on it until we suddenly got it. And they also removed, roughly at the same time, the skip night. And at the same time, they also, I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, they also decided speed of game, like max speed, was decided by your frames. So if you have a potato computer with really bad frames, your max speed will be a lot slower than someone who has a really good computer. Yeah, I'm not sure you guys have noticed. I notice it. I have literally no change, but then again, I operate with, 70 frames anyway, on a medium tribe. This one here I have 78. And they also limited the frames in the menu. I think it's 120. I'm unsure actually. When it comes to the technical things, I'm not reliable to know exactly what I'm talking about, I have to admit. So the I'll show you a few tricks when we come to the Neolithic. Some extra helps, which is really for the new players, because we kind of, when we play a lot, it's kind of, we know things by heart, Also, there was such an issue with hunters running after animals that went into water or died in water, and then they couldn't flipping reach them. So I asked the devs if we could have the same depth allowance for humans to walk as the animals was. So that has been sorted as well, which is good. So now we no longer see that we have animals dead in the water that nobody can strip, or that they are gone over the other side of the river and nobody can reach them because they can't wade as deep as the animals can. So that is now the same, so we never will have that issue. I haven't had it in half a year, so yeah, so it's working. It is working for now. What else is there? Yeah, they have tried to help players who have this explosive population growth by decreasing pregnancy rates for humans. They have increased it with, I think it's 15% or so, maybe 20. See, the problem or the pattern that I have found so far is that it tends to be those who start in 10k BC and that never reject migrants. What you find is that there is a few thousand years before the Neolithic starts, you can suddenly have up to 400 population. I did suggest to the devs to have a population limit on beginners until you actually know what you do. But I will see what they do, if they do anything about it, because there's quite a few people who have issues, especially newer players, I think, have issues with that their population suddenly just explodes a few thousand years into the game, like poof, and they have 400 population and they can't get up the housing in time because there's it's explosive. I get that. I really get that. Just even in beginners, I struggle with getting up housing for everyone if the population is too increased, too fast, too often. So yeah. So what the devs are working on now, at least the one that is working all the time on it, he is still going for improvements. He wants to make sure that everybody, no matter if you have the right requirement computer for your games, you should have at least 30 to 40 frames, and he's still working on that. He's also working on animation. What else is he working on? And some smaller fixes, like that when humans build something, when we build something somewhere, it tends to go a bit low, so we suddenly reach the water level. That needs to be changed a little bit, I think. And there are also some minor visual bugs that needs to be fixed. So I'm not sure when the next patch is going to come, but I know he's got the stuff done already. So yeah, it will probably give me a patch soon that I should go over and find the bugs. So yeah, we're going to do a few of the read as well. Hello. These tend to be an issue, you know, but there you go. We need people. What was I talking about? Yeah, what they're doing at the moment. Mr. Duckby is probably going over rivers to try to get rid of any kind of visual bugs. There are a few things you could sometimes see are plant, like a reed is like 5 meters tall and waving in front of your face like a bug. I've had that a few times. Yeah, but the main developer, Mr. Dev, as I call him, he is definitely working on performance, Steam Deck compatibility, Linux, all these things that I really can't help with at all in testing or anything. I can't do anything of that thing. So that's where you guys need to come in, and you are reporting back your findings, and that is fantastic. Just keep doing that. Just keep on. I'm just hoping that they are going to listen to people who wants some mod support thingy. I'm not sure what it is they are looking for, but at the moment, no modders can be asked to update their mods every 2 weeks because the game changes all the time. And for every little change, you have to change your mod, you have to update your mod. It's a pain in the... I understand it. You know, when I had the torch update, the torch mod that I made, or well, that I had made, I paid to get it made. I had the devs update it for me every time there was a patch, you know. And in the end, they integrated it to the game anyway. You're welcome. You got it in the end anyway. So yeah, so I can understand that the modders go tired of constantly having to update and update and update. Let me see. I will leave a few. Yeah, I don't mind if there's a few free people in the tribe. They can stoke the fires. They can, you know, stock the dryers and do some tanning. And, you know, no big deal. A few is fine. I don't mind that at all. Um, the knowledge has always been an issue for especially new players, but and also for other more experienced players, because what the game has failed in my opinion, is that it has always demanded every bit and scrap of content and events and behavior to be correct with history. They have started to go away from that. Obviously they started going away already with animal raid, I think, because that is not how animals behave at all, but it is for gameplay. So now gameplay seems to be more important than always being 100% historically correct. So what they have stuck to that is still historically correct are the items. The items you will still find are correct for the timeline and all those things. What is not correct is that you have to learn for decades, their entire life, to actually learn a trade, like learn the knowledge. And if you don't spread it constantly all the time, you will lose it. And that is not quite how it is, because normally the way we know it, the way it is today as well, if you have started to make a tool and you know now how to make your tool, if you teach a dice, you don't forget how to make the bloody tool, you know. So that is something that hasn't quite been quite right. I'm hoping that the changes they have done with increasing the learning pace insanely when things are being repaired will fix it. I have tested it for several weeks, and if you are using builder groups, you won't lose any knowledge at all. None is going to get lost. I'm talking about architecture, because that is the one that has always been a pain in the beep beep, you know. Some of the knowledges that you have might go a little bit down if you don't accept any migrants in your sedentary life, because you will have less animals to hunt and you will have less hunters because you will rely on your cultivated food, and you will of course have less fishing happening because you need to give the fishing pools time to regenerate. If you don't, you will literally have pools with one fish in it, and the fishermen will go from one pool to the next and learn nothing, you know. So those will often go down a bit in knowledge at the levels. I quite expect that to happen in a long-term sedentary Neolithic tribe. You also can find that some of your leatherworking will go down, but everything else should not be lost because you are constantly using it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just hoping that the fix they've done now, or the tweak they've done, is actually going to fix the issues for especially the new players. They were the ones who, you know, seemed to be most frustrated as well, because there were so many other aspects of the game they didn't understand. So it was kind of like the last drop to make them stop playing and leave a bad review, because there was, in their book, there was too much lacking and too little was understood. I do get that, but we also, I can say for sure that I have run into several players who literally want everything handed to them without them doing any work for it. They literally want the game to more or less play itself. That's never going to happen. Ever going to happen. You need to use a little bit of brain. Yeah, I'm going to put a few weapons around to take care of any animals that come. I'm going to do some bone knives and some wooden spears, strategically placed. But it is a bit of that. So it's quite simple why I do it. Simply because if you have all your animals, all your food in the same place as you have your weapons, which many people do, they just chock down a lot of the storage areas and chock everything in. You will find that when people come to get a weapon, there's already an animal there, and then they will run around scared instead of chasing it away. And we all know that if you have a tool or a weapon, you will not run. If you have a hunting tool or a hunting weapon, you will not be scared of any of the animals. So Yeah, so strategically placed around in the camp is a good idea, because if one place has the animals and they are feared, then you can go somewhere else to get the tools instead of going to where you know you will be scared. Especially, I like to use the huts because that's where people sleep, and most of the raids are actually at night when people are sleeping, already late when it's dark. Yeah, when there's less humans about. The stone huts never need to be dismantled because we can't take with us the stone. So yeah, we're gonna have some of those. So how are we doing? We got a few. Yeah, we got a few extra sleep spots. We're okay. We're gonna have more reed because we took a lot of reed, didn't we? We had a lot of reed coming in. We will dismantle those, but we won't dismantle the stone huts because you can't take with us the stone. Maybe the odd stone if there's a lot of space left in people's inventory. There, where's the moon? Did you see that we had snow high up, but when you go down, snow is gone? What the heck is that all about? And now it's back again when we're up. Probably because of the frames, don't you think? When you go closer, then the snow disappears. That's a bit trash. Oh well. All the things that has been done to improve performance, I do get it. And I totally agree that that's what they should do as well, because that is one of the things, one of the red lines that has gone through the game since the start is performance. The amount of time it took to load the shaders. Some people had to wait 10 minutes to load the shaders. I mean, I'm not sure if they have a potato computer, but I have never taken more than a minute or two to load any shaders. But then again, now it loads in 11 seconds for me because I have a really good computer. Anyway, I'm going to go through some of my notes, see. Yeah, it's a lot of bugs that has been done, a lot of bug fixing. See, after Christmas, what did we do after Christmas? Have a look. Yeah, we of course got more straw from threshing the wheat. I asked for more. That has to do with that. What the devs did was that they made sure that regrowth of some things like riverside reed, like reed and fiber, plant fiber, and also some fruit trees and food producing bushes and stuff like that, it came closer to camp and had a bigger amount in the cluster, you know. But what they never did, they never agreed to do, was to make sure that we got more grass growing, more, you know, tall grass that we could cut and get straw. So when you've stayed in a place for like 30 years, you will find that you basically have to go to the edge to get grass, to get tall grass, because it's all out. So what they did, because they think that in the Neolithic timeline, you shan't rely on wild grass that much. You shall rely on getting the grass from your domesticated plants. So they increased the straw we get from threshing wheat. And it seems to be doing the trick at the moment. My testing with the larger tribes shows that it is actually working the way they have decided to do it. So I'm okay with that, and so should everyone else be. But the only thing that I don't like about it is that we are then forcing player to have a fixed amount of wheat farms. They don't necessarily want wheat farms because it's a lot of work for very little calories. Because if you check the bread, it's only like say 700 calories per unit. Well, the seed itself is like several thousand. But then again, gameplay reasons, I guess. But yeah, what you should always, in my opinion, always go for is the peas. Always the peas. The peas are 2k calories, 2,000 calories per unit. Oh, hello. So I want to try over there. See, there's a river and there's a land, like a small lip. And then you have the ocean. Yeah, you're okay. You have the ocean. I'm going to go there next. I want to go try and see what it looks like. Could be interesting, you know. But have you guys noticed that there's a lot of reed in the riversides, but not so much plant fiber? There seems to always be so much reed compared to plant fiber. I think they've done that on purpose, because plant fiber you can produce yourself via flax byproduct when you thresh it, while reed you have nowhere else, except tall grass, of course, which will stop growing close to camp anyway in several decades. The game is still not, in my opinion, easy, you know. You still need to use your head and think and try things out. I think it becomes more difficult because people perhaps come from games where they are so handheld and they are largely played, you know, by itself, the game, if you know what I mean. We just do a few building things and then everything falls to pieces. All the actions coming from that has been started with that one thing the player did. While here you need to follow it up and continue on the trend you started, or continue on the item you placed down. Like if you place down a mud hut, a mud oven, nothing's going to happen until you place down a mill. But nothing's going to happen to the mill until you have wheat grain. But nothing's going to happen to any wheat grain. You won't get any until you have wheat. And you won't get wheat until you have a farm. And you won't get a seed until you've got seed. You won't get a farm until you've got seed. So there's a chain of things that the player need to be aware of, you know, in order to make things smooth. Oh, hello, look at that. Palisades, yeah. Palisades are super important. Not necessarily so important in hardcore, but they are more valuable in hardcore because we cannot afford having wild animals trampling our farms, because every cell counts in hardcore. Trust me, up in northern Norway, the coastal area, every cell counts. While in beginner you are so over how can I say without sounding condescending, you are literally having food thrown at your face. That's how much food there is in beginners in comparison to up in more northern parts of Norway by the coast. So yeah, we're going to get palisade around our valuables. That will be the work area and it will be the farms. So if I'm going to have any smaller farms, I'm going to have them close to the huts and then make maybe some stone fencing. But the thing with stone fences, which really gets me, is that you can't do beauty anymore. It's no point, because a horse, a deer, an auroch, they trample everything constantly, and it's so annoying. And you need to have higher workforce collecting more resources because it's getting broken by the big animals. I don't want that. How did they break a stone fence? Come on. Yeah, I still don't agree with that. So that is a part of the game that I still do not like. I have protested it since they started, and yeah, I'm still protesting. Oh, there seems to be one on and off being. He's probably a guy that is doing chores in the camp, which is fine. Totally fine with that. You can have the clams. Clams don't last very long at all. Let me see. Yeah, did I say that a lot of players, or well, not a lot, but some players had issues where their members got stuck in the reed. The thing is, when you have changed the pace to only be one sleep per month, and you also have things dynamically changing, you have squished in a month's change in one day. So suddenly a cell that had no growth on it, when you try to go back, it will have a non-penetrable object in it, like reed. You couldn't go through reed before. And I told the devs that this is something we need to consider, that the environmental changes is now squeezed down to one day instead of 3 days like we used to have. So now they can't go back. They can't go back the same way because the reed has just grown up there. So this is why they made it so that reed, can be walked through. Let's change some of these values. Yeah. When we get more people, or before we start to become sedentary, I'm going to make more groups and divide things better. Yeah, because I took away the food from this group. That's important, and I created a foods group instead. So they are separated. What else should I make? Do I have a stripping group? Yeah, I made stripping group. I don't need to do that. And I also made so this one I'm going to make into a crafter group, because when we land and become sedentary, then we are not going to harvest wildly. We're gonna have limit on everything. So this one is going to be, I think, stripping, and this one is going to be the crafter mats, or the high need at the moment. They're high need at the moment, but they will be crafter materials when I'm done. So these are going to do the smaller animals, the small ones, can't type, and those are going to be the larger ones. So when you get more groups, it's more fitting to have different names, so you know the difference on them. Yeah, that's it really. You guys can have a bit of a limit. So these are going to do the tools. These are the material, yeah. Okay. I'm going to leave it like that for now, I think. Methinks. So the groups, the builder groups, I'm not going to rename, because I'm going to delete them for every time I want all their items to become communal property or dismantling. So yeah, it's just something I figured out was way faster than going over each and every item and change their priority. That was actually taking a little bit too long time, in my opinion. It was a bit annoying, to be honest. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's probably one doing some chores here and there in camp. Also, they have fixed, this has actually been, oh gosh, look at the thunder, listen to the thunder. They have fixed that you can actually now pause the game and then make 8 groups and then send all out at the same time, because that used to crash the game for me all the time. It always froze the game, so that they have fixed that now. They also increased the reproduction in domestic animals again, because the big pigs weren't really that fertile. So they first they increased the age they were adults, so they could actually have kids, and then they increased their fertility. And you will find that pigs very often have both 2 and 3 piglets. So if you manage to get a good stock of pigs, you will never lose them. Well, I have yet to lose them, at least, but they can be difficult to get started. Yeah. They've also increased the build and repair priority, because when you have it on default, it doesn't always get done. So they have increased that a little bit. But something that it doesn't get done that you want to get done, you just increase priority on, and that it will be prioritized, unless you're keeping your tribe super duper busy. You know, if you keep them so busy they don't have time for anything, or too much of them have too much of the group have high priority or priority at all. Let's dismantle everything and move on. We're not going to do the stone pit huts because they, you know, you can't take anything with you anyway. So I'm gonna try to see that lip, because now the tribe has moved. The tribe that was in the way, you know, it has moved now. So now we can go and check it out. Or maybe if we find another place. I also want to try the crossings on the rivers. See what it looks like, because some of them are bound to be really cool to build on. You know, all the river forks, when they come together, it's like luxury. So much material, so much resources, you know. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Oh, I forgot that one. Oh, that might be too late to do it. Well, we got most of it anyway. Doesn't matter. It's fine. Right, let's go see. I'll go see on that lip over there. I want to try and see how that is. Maybe here. I don't want too much ocean because I don't want to walk too long. So I'm going to go a little bit more inland and just have a little bit ocean. Remember what I told you guys about the positioning of the resources when you have little water? Don't tell the devs. They might change it. I don't want them to. Let's give them complete off. Because that will take away any kind of tiredness. Just let them think that they have the day off. So there's always something happening. Always. Remember that repairing is slower, but learning is insanely much higher. They did decrease the animal raid probability because it was a bit too much. But do remember that the happier you keep your tribe, the more likely you are to get, and the faster you play, faster game speed you have, the more likely you are to have animal incursions. Let me see, where's the oh, there it is. That's the river. Okay, now let's oh, is that beach? Is it because we're so close to the coast? Look, that's the coastline. Oh my god, that actually looks really cool. Don't you think that looks really cool? That we can do that. Because there's not so much growth, and it seems a little bit steep, doesn't it? It seems a bit steep right here. But it does look really nice, doesn't it? This could be really interesting to build. Not everything is flat though, and I do wish that they can allow us to build more on the red, because there's way too much red cells on what really should be possible to place down things in. Oh, just get down from fireplaces. No, that's not what I wanted. It's that one. Jesus. Let's get down things and get up priority. One of each of these. Because we're going to do a few runs now where we're just going to literally scavenge the area. Oops. Just scavenge the area and then move on. We're going to stay until people are around 70-ish, or till the fireplaces are minus happiness, or minus happiness, yeah, till they start giving unrest. Let's go. Let's get it done. What I do is I create a builders group, place all the items in it, max or put up the priority, and then I delete the group. And then, yeah, everything is communal then, which is, in my opinion, what you should do. But there you go. So I'm going to do a few of these runs just because I want a bit more fine raw stones and flint cores when we land, because we're going to be fairly close to the coast, if not by the coast, up in more northern parts, literally how far up, as far up north as we can go, because I want to stress and be frustrated and have to figure better ways to survive in order to make it, because I want to be up there with 400 plus population. Don't really need that or that. So they can stay on one. Badge. Not too bad, but not too bad. Can take you guys as well. More people. And instead of letting the pelts rot, I'm adding tanners. Whatever survives when we land sedentary survives. Whatever doesn't, doesn't. The danger with doing scavenge runs where you don't build anything housing is that you could be unlucky and lose architecture. So keep an eye on that. Don't do so many runs that you go several generations without settling down and working on architecture. Then you're kind of getting trouble, I think. I normally do a few of them, maybe 3-4 runs ish. But then again, I also accept all migrants mostly when we are so small, so you don't have to worry about losing the knowledges, because most migrants will bring better knowledges, or at least around, so that you don't lose whatever you have. Yeah. Let's see. Let's go through some of the patch notes. So normally before the changes that came now the last updates, you couldn't use the Intel thingies, but now you can. So that's how I made it happen. And the Steam Deck thingy is also something that a lot of people wanted. Yeah. So there's been a lot of technical things that has been done the past few months to the game that I can't really explain, because I don't test those, because I don't understand what they are. I don't have Steam Deck, but I do know that they made it so that it is possible to use for everyone. And what they have done is they have done so that the text field that triggers the virtual keyboard on Steam Deck. They've also adjusted the control layouts and descriptions. They also improved the performance of Steam Deck, and they also adjusted the game options. Yeah. So I know they've done that. People seem to be really happy with the performance changes. I know I have averaged between 40 and 120 frames, depending on size of tribe and how much I've built. I don't have any issues, but then again, I didn't really have any issues before either. It could be slow at times. It could drop down to 20 at times for me if I had a lot of stuff built and played max speed. But besides that, it wasn't bad at all. One of the more things they've done, which I asked for right before they released this patch, was that we need to increase the clearing task priorities for farms, because you could sometimes see that there was one cell that needed to be cleared and nobody did it. You could lose out on an entire farm because nobody wanted to go do that one bleeding cell. So I asked the devs if that could be looked into and changed, and they did that. So they improved and increased the priority for tasks in farms. So that's excellent. Yeah. 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 That is the latest patch notes. I do have some we can go over as well and discuss a bit that is not listed anywhere. Let me see, I need to go before Christmas, I think. Methinks. This is actually a little bit, you know, a bit too easy because there's so much food. Look at all the food they have. They have cherries, they have berries, they have plums, honey and pears. What the heck? There's so much food down here. We will get food up there as well, but not even close to this amount. Maybe that has changed a little bit as well with the environmental changes. This is pretty though, isn't it? It could be really interesting to build on various levels and have rolling hills with farms and stuff. That could be interesting, you know, to do. You do know the traders, they had no decay reduction at all, like half a year ago or so. So I said, guys, we need to at least adhere to them carrying stuff in baskets. So now the resources for the traders are in baskets and thus also having that protection, 200% decay. So this is as far up as we can go. Even though there are several rivers up on top there, can you see them? And that's the river I normally use. Yeah, that's us. So we're not too far off. We're still fairly east, so we're going to go a lot more west and get it much harder. Look, there's a fork there I want to try. I want to try that one out. I want to try out several ones, for sure. And something I always do is that I place traders on all the tribes, or at least one of each of the tribe that has the farm seed that I need, because you rarely get all of them no matter where you land. Oh gosh, I wish I could want to try that. I think I want to try that as well, but I don't know. There's just so much to try, isn't there? Like, it's going to take forever. Yeah, no, there's no way you're going to get tools for that. No, I already have that, don't I? Oh, that one is going to be useful. So that one is going to get a trader. I already have that. I think I already have wheat, don't I? Oh, well, just in case. No, don't need that. That's the one I need. Now I have one of each. Plus some that is... I need some that is trading. Find raw stone, please. Please. Did I already find one? I have 28, I think. Is it 28? Oh, there was one. I think I've already got it. Yeah, as I have 27, 28. Yeah, 28. I have 28 farm tribes. So I lack 4 to reach the max, because the max tribes you can have in your map is 32, and it is decided by the amount of water in your map, in your full migration map, not only the local map but the global map where you start. So that is excellent. They also increased, because I complained a lot not having enough fine raw stone. So they also increased the amount of tribes that would have higher probability of trading fine raw stones. So that has been done as well. That has been increased as well. You will find that sometimes you have up to 3-4 of your tribes in regional map that will trade more of the fine raw stones. Nothing specific about them, but nothing that we need to deny either. Let me see. So they took away, or they somehow decided that the starter feast shouldn't be no more because of some changes they did. So instead, to make up for it a little bit, they increased the resource density by 10% for the bigger tribes after they migrated. And I think that's okay. That's okay. So yeah. They've also done some changes to, guys remember culture dance? We had that forever. Oh, I have a cat in my face. We had the culture dance forever until they changed it, made sure that culture alone was not the reason. They added more of the knowledges to be the counting instead of necessarily only the culture, and that fixed it. Let me see. What else? Let's go a bit back. Also a lot of fixing in all of October. I think we had like 8 bugs in one patch that was not related. So the game invites you to play organic. You can have things a bit into each other, but there is a bug with this, especially if you have fences going organically into the housing. Then you will find that every night they go behind the house before they go inside to sleep. So we had a bit of a disagreement there, me and the devs, because I said, if you give us the option and invite us and encourage us to be more organic in how we play, should we then not fix the issues that comes from being organic? But they meant that you're not supposed to use houses as fences, even if the organic building also accepts that you put fences inside your houses, like you have the ending of a fence in a house, and then, for instance, a longhouse is part of the fence, and they think that is cheating. But in my opinion, that is survival. You will save a lot of logs if you also use your houses as fences. You will save fine raw stone, and you will save workforce. So initially, nobody could go through a house that was being built. In order to try to stop me from using fences into houses and using housing as fences, they made so that everyone could go through the second the houses was placed down, or even when it started needing repair. So that was the end of that. Oh, look at that. That's nice. Look at all the growth. Oh, this is actually really nice. It's really nice to have these places now up in Scandinavia, because we had so little here, didn't we? There's so much here. No, that's not the one. I took the one. I meant to take the builder group. There you go, that one. Let's get down stuff. Get one of these and one of these. Let's get some fireplaces as well. I love that fireplaces are giving happiness, you know. They are, I don't know, is it plus 27 or something? Each fireplace of the big ones can take 10 people to sleep. So let's get so that everyone can have a place to sleep, and get the baskets down for the fish and the meat. Then we put on priority and delete the group, and now it's communal. I know it's cheating, I know, but you know, it's faster and easier. Of course I'm going to do it. Of course I'm going to experiment to find ways that it's easier. It's just, that is what hardcore invites you to do, especially if it's really difficult to make ends meet and everything is so low in amounts and you have to work so hard for so little. You try to figure out ways where it will work better, and that's what I'm doing. You know, I don't want to be punished for that. I feel I am punished for that. I don't like that. It's one thing that saying that they want us to play the game as intended, but what they are forgetting, and I've said this before, you're forgetting human nature. We will always try to find a better and easier way to do things, and this need that sometimes shines through for devs on every game, not only this game, every game, to control the players to a high degree. I find it frustrating. Stop doing that. Let players play the flipping way they want to play. I don't want to be, you know, supervised. Hell no. And it's not cheating to find better ways to do things. It's not cheating to find easier way, more resource saving ways to do things. It's evolution. It's how humans have survived, you know. You can't stop it. Why would you try to control it so much? For me, it kind of reached a point where I was really frustrated when they decided that, oh no, you were not allowed to do any easy migration in Neolithic, because Neolithic people didn't migrate. Of course they flipping well did. They laid fallow the farms and moved to another place, and then they went back after like 10-15 years when the old farms were very fertile again. You know, of course they bloody well migrated. Yeah, so that's not an argument that I will put on my bed to sleep with at all. I want to migrate, but they made it so difficult that on hardcore that I can no longer migrate without losing anyone. I don't think I've managed, ever since they removed the speed, the slow speed, I haven't managed to migrate our 400 plus population hardcore in region 1 without losing some. Not half the tribe or a ton, but certainly some. I've had many tribes I've had to give up as well because it was too difficult. I just could not get up housing in time that they were okay with, and there were not enough food for 400 before the farms could make the yield, because you have to wait until they're in season to harvest, you know. And you land with 400, you need housing for 400, you need farms to feed 400, because there's no way you're going to have enough of any food in the wild to start with. That will grow as the decades go. You know, you won't have it to start with. So they've made it really, really difficult to migrate with big tribes, because they don't want you to migrate during the Neolithic timeline. And I think that is too much controlling the players. I also really do not like that we are not allowed to decide how many days a month should have. It's only one now. It's one per month, and you have no longer the option to pick slow. If I had the option, I would play classic. I would play 4 days, 4 sleeps per month easily, and I would love it. I would love it to flipping bits. So if there's any way that we can mod 4 days per season, I will pay for that mod. I will pay you to make it more, because that's what I want. And then I want to let everybody else who wants it have it on Steam. I want to put it up as a mod on Steam, like I did with the torch. Because I wanted the torch, I paid to have the torch made. Because I don't know how to make mods at all. I don't know anything. I also want mods to control population. That's something I want the devs to add to the game. Put population limits on. Some of them might actually be forced, like beginners shouldn't really have 400 population in 8 KBC. That's insane. That should not happen. But yeah, there are so many things that I want for the game, because I really like this game. I really like it, and I want it to succeed, you know. I want it to do well. So yeah, but you know, one day at a time. I have been testing for this guy now, these guys, since roughly October 2021. Yeah, so around 5 years. Yeah, roughly 5 years. I started playing, I think, in April or May, and I immediately liked it. I started playing before they had proper hunting. They only had self-dead animals. They didn't have hunters. So yeah, I want the game to succeed for sure. Let me see. We have dead people. People have blue house. They want more housing. Oh, I love the thunder. Let's have a look and see. Oh my word. She has nothing, and she's... oh no. Does she have leatherworking? Oh, she did, didn't she? Oh, have to take her. Okay, 60 population. I don't want to go above 80 because it's so difficult to get to keep them happy, because you have 4 sleeps before they are pissy sour because you don't have a fireplace for them. So you add fireplaces, and then you have another 4 sleeps before they start getting pissing sour because you don't have houses for them. So you have within a year to get some kind of sleeping arrangements for everyone, and that's 12 sleeps. You have 12 sleeps to get everything sorted. I hate playing fast. I really dislike it. I want to play classic. I want to have several sleeps per month like we used to. I had huge cities. I had cities as far as the eye could see, because we had the time to create. I had time to make tons of farms rolling over the hills with various houses, and now we don't. I feel there is a giant loss in not allowing us to have classic play. We are forced to do 1 sleep per month, and that's it. I really dislike it. I say it on a regular basis to the devs. I don't like it, because the game is pointing more and more towards catering to only the impatient and non-experimental and the non-critical thinker players. And I don't like that. I wanted this game because it forced me to think. It made me have to come up with things, and it allowed me to play in more than one type of way. You know, you don't always succeed from one tribe to the next by doing exactly the same. And this is one of the things that I really enjoy about the game, that you can play it in more than one way. You don't have to do it one way to win. You could do it many ways. But the only thing you need to remember is that you need to feed your people and keep up their comfort. That's it. You can build as you want, where you want, on top of the mountains, by the river, by the ocean. You know, no 2 tribes are ever exactly the same. And that's one of the things that I really enjoy about the game. I don't enjoy being controlled the way we are controlled now. I don't enjoy losing things that everybody loved doing. Or everyone that I used to play with to start with have stopped playing because they don't want to play the faster mode, because that's all they have. Nobody has the option anymore to choose how many sleeps per month. We were so many that played slow, 3 sleeps per month. And yeah, we miss it. We really miss it. Oh, let me see. They have also done so that you have a higher likelihood of managing to play really old patches on the new patches, and that's really good because I'm going to try something. Maybe next week, I'm going to try to load one of my really old saves and see how far up north I can get. Because I do have an old save before they changed the map so that we could no longer go to the very top of the map. So maybe that can work. I'll find out. I'll make a video and show you guys. Let me see. Only the fireplaces left. Now I'm going to give everyone off. No work and nobody. There you go. So let me see, where do we want to go? I want to try that fork. I want to try several forks. I want to try everything. I don't have a lot of food. Oh, don't let them eat everything. Oh, okay, let's go. Let's go. There's rats eating up our food. I want to try that fork and see how that goes. I do really like all the rivers. So I only try a few of the possibilities here, otherwise the video will be 15 hours long. But we are going to work our way up now with these scavenge runs, work our way up to where we're going to stay. And then we're going to make the groups properly. And we're going to stop scavenge. We're actually going to be careful and put limits on everything. And get stuff up before Neolithic comes, because I want to have everything ready for when we get Neolithic migrants. Yeah. And one of those things we're going to need is loads of logs, because we are going to fence in with palisades, because we have palisades. So what was really needed that the devs listened to quite quickly when I said it was that you have to reduce the materials that logs are needing. You have to, or palisades, you have to make sure that it takes longer time before they need repairs, because that will also help. And we have to make the lumberjacks more efficient. We need more refined raw stone, and we need more resources from each tree. And they did that. They did all those things. So look at that. I love this. I think this is the first fork we've ever had in Scandinavia. Real fork. That's really nice. So they did all that, and now having logs or palisade logs around the more important parts, it's actually doable, even in hardcore. But it won't be your entire village. That I don't think you can keep that up under any difficulty. So be more picky in where you put your palisades. It's kind of the way I've had to go in hardcore. There you go, and delete the group. I know it's cheating. I don't care. Now I need those to go back up. Ta-da. Yeah, let's go. Landed a bit late, didn't we? That's fine. Need a few sticks, get a few trees chopped down. This is nice, isn't it? Well, have you seen the remember how small the global square used to be? Now it's like 8 times bigger. You can literally traverse through from England to France to Italy to Swiss, to Spain. Previously you could barely get over the canal from England to France, and now you can go through the entire Scandinavia. Norway, Sweden, Denmark. You can go through everything. You can go partially, I think, to Scotland as well. And the Hebrides. I want Svalbard. I tell you guys, I want Svalbard. I want Svalbard and polar bears. Oh no, is that where they're all going to come now and go through there? Because they're not coming to feed. They're just walking along the riverside. Yeah. Well, look at that. So that's a spam we don't need. We don't need that spam for every item they're threading on. We just need to know the animal is there. You know, we can click the animal, we can see where they're going. I don't think we need all those notifications. It can be quite a bit for spam. So they've also removed that speed goes back to full after you've handled the animal crisis, because it was too bugged. I found way too many bugs with it. It was really weird. Sometimes it got stuck and you had to restart the game to get rid of the speed. You know, it was really weird. You don't want to do that. Oh, I think I'm going to have to remove it from the material group. Because they don't only get one, do they? They don't only get one of those. They get like 30 in one go. Have a look at you. You're okay. Yeah. Nothing too bad about these. Oh, she's got pottery. Pottery is important. So that means now we just need agriculture. And then we have all 11 knowledges. I'm going to take that away. Don't need that either. There you go. That'll do it. Don't need read, and we don't need any mud. So stop doing mud. Yeah, now it's gone. Oh, maybe I should have a few of the stones. There you go. Take some stones. Go. I think most of you players who are experienced, you do use the clear tool a lot, at least to start with, to get stuff quickly in, because the adherence to your clear tool is now so good. But it's also, you know, it's also a very quick way to kill your tribe if you don't know what you're doing. So if you don't have the food, don't use it. If you have the food and you need several areas cleared, then go for it. If you only need, like I just did now, just took in one pile of raw stones, that's fine. You don't need to worry too much about the food, because you can only fit 5 people on there anyway, because there is a limit. This is something we got over half a year ago, a limit to how many can be on the same task. Yeah, and that's the same that they did with the groups. You cannot put every group to do the same resource, because 80% of them will have that there is nothing for them to do, and they will have this, you know, the yellow warning sign, the yellow circle saying there is no resources for me, because you can't be like 5 million people on the same task. So be aware of that. Let me see. Oh, there it is. A rat. We have a rat coming. Okay. You can't have my roasted. Oh, you can have a few, but you got to go now. You've been eating for hours. You've been eating for decades. Literally. Yeah, they need to fix the music. It's hysterical in max speed. Like, so it's not that great, is it? They used to fix it, but now I think the people are not aware that they need to tell devs the music is completely messed up. I remind them every now and then that the audio is a bit bob, but you know, I'm gonna put these benches down so that the crafters don't run to Timbuktu to find a log or a stone to sit on. They should sit really around the fireplaces. Come on, guys. They're not supposed to run to Timbuktu to find somewhere to sit, you know, because that is something we argued a long time ago we didn't want, because they need to stay where the stuff is, you know. And until we get things down that they can sit on, they should sit by the ground or by the fireplace, you know. So, yeah. The fireplace is a good place for them to sit and work. Nothing wrong with that at all. So it's literally until we land for sedentary life. It's literally rinse and repeat that I do all the time here. But I do find that doing hardcore in the more southern and eastern parts is a bit too easy for me. Too little challenge. You can almost just leave it going by itself if you just, you know, get up the things they need to be happy and have enough on the food. So the only thing you really need to pay attention to is when the food is out, like animals. Are we out of animals, you know? which we will be eventually in all hardcore games, except maybe in Region 2, where you are literally drowning in everything, even on hardcore. On hardcore, you can actually stay sedentary from 10 kbc and forever in Region 2. That's how much resources Region 2 have in comparison. Because you need to remember that the utter majority of the vegetable growth and the food the game has is meant for temperate regions, and Region 2 is the temperate region. Up here where we are is the Arctic region, and down with the lower parts of Spain and lower of Italy and the Near East, those are the tropical parts. So we don't have a lot of very heat-loving produce down in the south, and we certainly have only 1 or 2 types of Arctic-loving types of food upstairs in Region 1. Kale is one of them, but you know, kale is a waste to produce because you need 4, at least 4. You need 3, 6, 12. You need actually 5 maxed out kale farms to beat 1 pea farm. That's how shit kale is in comparison to peas. So even though peas has a 0.04 cell yield up in Region 1, you are still better off doing that than having kale. Beets has been improved to 500 calories. You can do a bit of beets, and they have a higher growth rate. They thrive a bit better in the north than kale peas do. So you'll get a higher production of beets. So I will have beets. I will not have kales. I will get flax to feed animals and to trade away, and to make sure that I get enough fiber, because normally you get very little fiber, if any, by the coast in northern Norway. You literally get nothing. You get nothing of anything, really. You land with nothing. You're born with nothing and you die with nothing. So yeah, so be careful with just plocking down and using your workforce on food that literally feeds nobody. I also do not want pines. I don't want roots. If I get any of those, it will be to give to the animals, not for human consumption. On hardcore, it's a reason to leave, especially if they have some kind of combination unrest. If they are unhappy with the houses, or, you know, or you're okay. Yeah, nothing bad. And now it's also the time to start denying people with bad grades, because now we are over 60. If I have 60 plus, between 60 and 80, I'm okay with that amount going sedentary. So remember that if you lack graves, the unrest starts with like 4, and then it grows every year, I must say, every sleep, until it reaches max, which is 25. It used to be 50, but I managed to argue it down to 25. But here's the thing that you guys probably are aware of, you experienced players, but new players do not know that if 2 in the same family dies and they don't have a grave, then you will double the unrest, because it's 25 max unrest per member. So if you have 2 people like mom and dad die at the same time, you will have 25 unrest for the mom, and you will have 25 unrest for the dad. So that's 50 unrest. That is enough to send most people leaving in hardcore. So one of the things that we can never skimp on when we land, no matter size, are graves. Graves must also be really quickly placed down. I always make a religion group, or at least with the other changes, I make a religion group that takes care of the graves, and they always have max priority until everything is built. Then I take down the priority and take down the population and give them religion with regards to the menhirs and the temples and the passage tomb when that time comes. So yeah, and then the amount of work spots in that group will be fairly low. Let me see. Right, let's move on. Where do we want to go? There's so many places I want to go. want to try this one. I want to see how it is up here in the fork. Let's have everyone have all their time off and nobody working. They will be happy about that. This is something you can do if you have overworked your people on hardcore. That you can travel for a few days with, if you have enough food, travel for a few days with labor age minimum, a labor time minimum, and you will find that even the most stubborn and spoiled and horrid people will be happy. Yeah, you can just try yourself ahead and experiment, literally. I want to see how that one works out. I want to try that one first. Let's do that one first. It could turn out really cool, but you never know. You never know. It's not necessarily the same. Even if you reload the same save, it's not necessarily the same, you know? Small changes. I think they need to update some of the sayings in the loading screen. If they could add an inquisitive, you know, like an interactive thingy, like you needed to answer some questions or find stuff, you know, like Sims have that, for instance. That would be so cool. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah. I'm not sure I love this, I have to admit. It's not quite what I thought it would be. You know? Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but just in case some of you do not, the reason I take traders on the tribes that has things that I want and need during Neolithic is because if you put them on raiders, they will change their commodity every 2 years no matter what you do. But if you put them on trade, they will never change the commodity. Don't tell the devs. If the devs find out, they will change it. So keep it to yourself. Okay, we're just going to go straight because I did not like that place at all. It might be different next load, you know, next time we go try, if I do that. But now I want to go to that one over there. It's a pity that it is so, you know, it becomes fjord-like, and then you don't have any growth by the side. There's like a total barren. It's like nothing there. Have a look here then and see. The reason why you can get away with doing rationing while you're traveling is because there is no queue. Everybody gets food. Like if you're on the ground and you have food in various stores, people need to stand in queues, and sometimes they skip the queues because they don't want to stand in queues, and then they go hungry to bed, and then suddenly you need to reduce your rationing because they are hungry, and if they have another day where they only get a part of their food again, they will get sick. So if you travel, you will never have the issue. Everybody will get their food in time. Oh, now this is cool. This is actually really cool. I like this. Plenty resources. Right, let's build a group and get stuff down. We're still doing scavenging, so we're not going to stay. See there. Why is that fully red? Because it's a small hill, a small bump. Look at that. I don't want that. I want the option to do a little bit of auto terraforming when we place down things, that the ground should give in to what we want to do. You know, maybe that's asking too much. I actually don't know. I must admit how difficult. I don't know how difficult it might be to do to change the way the system is already. how it's coded. I don't know. I do not know. Ho, 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 ho. Ta-da. There you go. Go. Now, it's not risky. Also, we have food going out on date, I almost said. I always say going out on date. Food's going out on date. The decay is getting a bit bob. Let's find stones. Where the flip are the stones? What the heck? Where are stones? Oh, that's stones? No. What the hell? Oh, they're only right next to me. Yeah. This is what you get, you know, blind and senile and everything bad. Right next to me, I couldn't find them. I'm so used to them being by the riverside, you know. Yeah. We don't need all of those lumbers. We're gonna stop taking them soon anyway, because we have enough. Yeah, don't need more of those. Down. Let's take down the work hours as well, because I don't want any of them to be annoyed or have any kind of building annoyance for work hours when we are sedentary, because I must force them to work non-stop for several days in a row with max work hours, and I won't stop until they are blue or maybe even yellow. That is risky because you are inviting combinational rest, so I might not do it. It depends on how cocky I am. I have lost half my tribes previously because of combinational rest, and I'm not paying attention well enough. I see they're blue, okay, they're okay, and then you don't think that they don't have proper houses. They have minus houses they sleep in, and suddenly they have combinational rest going up to 40, 50, and poof, they're gone. And when one person is gone with a large family, I guarantee you half that family will leave with him. And then you have extended family, people who are married, and then their family. In the end, you have half the flipping tribe left, you know. So that is something which is super duper unfriendly in hardcore, which is exactly as it should be. It's supposed to be 10 times worse than beginners, and it's so rightly so. So if I'm being sloppy and taking risks, then, well, the result is varied. I fail a lot and I also succeed a lot because I never give up. This is why I'm testing, because I like to experiment, to figure stuff out, you know, find other ways, better ways. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, she has 4. But it will take some time. The unrest will build incrementally. It's not like it will be poof 25 in one go. It will be a bit every day. A little bit every day. Look how close we are to the max of where we can be. We can't get any higher than this. This is the highest we can go. But look at all the rivers up here. Oh, I want to try those. Oh, I'm so gonna check if I can get up there with my old save. Oh. I want to go all the way up. Oh, look at that. There's a river going out there as well. But you know, when you're far east, it's too easy, in my opinion. It's too easy all the way to the east here, even though we are as far up north as we could possibly get. And, oh, that's interesting. Look, there's a spring where the river starts, and there's a river. And look at that. I like the mountains and stuff between. Oh, I would love the one up there. Oh, I want all of these and all of those. Look at those. That's interesting too. Look at the river's going through parts of the ocean, then coming out again on the other side. I think I want to go. I want to try everything. I want everything now. Of course, you can't have everything, Lily. Look at the leather being rotting away as we are working on it. Yeah. But that's the thing that I don't like, that I've asked the devs if we can please change. This goes for the wheat as well. If you have wheat stalks before they're threshed, they have a decay. And when you're threshing them and you get the wheat grains will carry with them the previous decay from the wheat stalks. And when you mill them, the flour will carry with it the previous decay from the grains. And when you are baking the bread will have the display, the decay that the flour had. I want that to change. I've asked the devs if they can please change that, and I will see if they'll do it. I also protest on a regular basis that items that normally last for several years in open storage, they decay away over one night when they're in a building project. That doesn't make any sense at all. So I'm kind of hoping they will do something about that as well. You know, you guys can tell the devs as well things that you either agree with me, or extra things that I haven't thought about, or that I don't have any issues with, but that you do. You could say it on Discord, you could say it on Steam. Yeah. Look at that. I think I want to try there. Look at that. It's like a full river going into the ocean. Wonder what that's going to be. How's that going to be? Oh, she looks good. Is she? They look good. Oh, I want to go up there. But yeah, that's the furthest up north you can get. North and west. That's the hardest part. But I'm wondering, I might want to try out one of these below here. The fjords with rivers coming into them. Look at that one. I really want to try that one, I think. That looks interesting. With that lip of land between the river and the mountain, and then the river goes directly into the ocean. That's a little bit bob, but it might actually turn out really cool. I think I'm going to try that and see. And if I like it, I think I'm actually going to stay there. Maybe. What if they have no animals? Ugh. You know, you never get cattle up here, and that's so annoying. Cattle is the one with the most meat on them. So of course we can't have it. Yeah, the pelts are rotting. Of course they are. Of course. Yeah, the rivers added are really good. They seem to be fairly precise as well in comparison to, you know, the real map. It's gonna a lot of work in making these rivers. Yeah, but I want it a bit harder now. It's been very easy for several thousand years. A little bit too easy for my taste. If I don't have to redo things or reload my game and do things differently at least once, then it's not difficult enough, you know? Let's move on. Dismantle everything. Except those that won't give anything back that we can bring with us. It's pretty here though. It really is. So you can get a good hardcore tribe here, not too difficult, because you are so far east that you will still have quite a bit that you can rely on actually being there for your tribe. But if you want a real challenge, you should go as far up northwest as you could possibly go. Look at that. I think I want to try out that I'm going to go between the river and where you can see the spring is of the other river. I think I'm going to try to see if I can go roughly in the middle-ish. No, that's going to be too far to the left. I'm going to try here and see. It's a bit of a walk, so I think, yeah, we do have some food. But let's put them on ration anyway. Oh, look at the rivers up there. I want to go to those rivers up there in the mountains. Oh, they're kind of like the Nordic Alps, you know. There's no such thing as Nordic Alps, but we could call them the Nordic Alps. We could, fiddly boom. Let's see how this looks. God, it's almost night. I've travelled. I should have travelled extra so that they slept while journeying, and then landed in the morning. So now we're going to land really late, not have anything up. So they're going to have our full night in the open. Yeah, they're not going to like that. I'm not sure how long we can stay here then, because when the fireplaces give minus or people are unhappy, then I need to get going. I think it's actually quite nice. Oh, look at that. That's the start of the river. It's going to plonk down likely, roughly in the middle here. That'll do it. That'll do it. Just let them sleep in peace and no work because it's too late anyway. Get anything decent done. Just do the building of stuff anyway. Just chuck them out. I just get one per 10 people. Yeah. A couple of these as well. Ta-da. And these, of course. We need the baskets as well. Just so that the food lasts a little bit longer and we don't attract too many wild animals. Ta-da. Sticks. What about the stones? What the heck? It's difficult to see in the night. Is there anyone here? No. How about here? Oh, we got about one dead already? God damn. Okay, back to letting everyone work. He's just passing through. There's the food in the baskets. And that one. So nice. Oh, don't need those anymore. Okay. Let people eat in peace. Now also see that some of the food is going out on date, so just get rid of it, let them eat it up. I remember this game when I started to play it, it had literally nothing. It had nothing, it had like 3 or 4 house types. It didn't have proper hunting groups. They could only go and strip self-dead animals. They couldn't kill anything. We had fishermen. We had only a handful of things we could gather. We have 3 times more food now than we had then. We didn't have religion. We didn't have farming. We didn't have animals, livestock. So much we didn't have. It was literally nothing. It was like almost a blank canvas, and I loved it. I have to admit, I loved it. Yeah. Go sleep by the fireplaces now, guys. Then your unrest will calm down. It took a bit long for them to build everything. I still find this game fairly therapeutic, even on hardcore. It's in my opinion, it's a comfortable game to play. You don't have to think too much if you know what you're doing. The nature, it's what's really getting me peace. And I do like that it is accurate, up to a certain point, of course, that it retells history. I think that is important, that whatever we have in game is correct to belong to the game in the timeline it is. I think that is one of the things that I find really attractive to this game that you don't see in any other games. All the other games have some fantasy that, you know, that didn't exist, and they do it for gameplay, and they seem to mix, you know, what's correct and what's fantasy. While here, there is not a single object that does not belong to the timeline, and I'm quite fond of that. Actually very fond of that. Oh, I need to get more tools. I only have the wooden spears still. Need more hunting, we need more fishing, because that's what we lack. We're not lacking in toolsmithing. We have everything of that. It's the hunting and fishing that is too slow. I wish we had worked more now on the tools that is in the game, in the testing. I mean, sorry, not in public, in testing, because they are literally ready to be released. Yeah, research is done, the testing is done, the animation is done, everything is done. I've tested it all for months and months and months and months. Like, I've been testing sheep for 3 years. You know, it's okay. We can release the sheep. Oh. Ooh, I love a good storm. Probably have to get going soon. She's not coming home with a lot of fish, is she? Can stay a bit longer. Yeah, those are still positive. You just need to hover over. You can see how long you can stay. Because when they start to go sour, you know that your fireplaces is not good enough. It's time to pack and move on. There's always some learners in all the specialty groups, which is how it must be really. You can't only have specialists, you can't only have those with the skills. You also need to learn or to teach the next generation as well. So there will always be some learners. I hate when you go for the pregnant. That means there are few of them left. Otherwise they wouldn't go for the pregnant ones. But also remember, it's within an area of effect. It's an area of effect measurement. It's a wide circle. They check, and if there is elder males, they take them first, elder females second, and then they take adult males, then they take adult females, and then they go for sibling, they're young and they're pregnant. So when you see a pregnant animal is being targeted, it can mean one of two things. It can either mean that you're literally out of other types in the entire map, or it means that those who are more eligible, they are outside the area that system scans for targets. So just keep that in mind. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're out of animals in that area, in the locality. It just means you're out of eligible other targets in that specific radius that the system searches. Yeah. So that's a good thing to know. Small details, good to know. I think I'm being lazy. Is it the terrain sometimes makes the traveling very, I don't know, backwards. Like they take these really weird routes all the way around a small mountain instead of going up the hill, you know. So some of the pathfinding is still a bit pop-up, I have to admit. It's not all fab, you know. It's not all fab at all. So I think we're going. If I like the place we are going to next, which I'm going to try that thing by the coast, which is roughly the area we want to end up in. If I like it, I think I'm going to stay there, and then I'm going to finish the video because it's already like 2 hours. It's already very long. But I want to complete my scavenging. And I've already done the trading partners so that the goods they have is locked. They will not change. So that means that I'm guaranteed to get the seeds that I need. Because it's not likely that the environment will have more than perhaps flax. At least not when you land. It might come up as the years go by, because that can happen as well. But no guarantees. I'll take you. Oh, finally we get better tools. Yay! Let's make a ton of these because we're gonna go raid as well. We're not only gonna trade, we're also gonna raid. So we're gonna have a few of these. These lovely. So what do we have of tools in testing at the moment? We're gonna have at least four more. That I've done some research, and I will see what the devs are picking out of the research I've done. But we do have a specific bow, which is also meant for combat, which is going to be released probably before human raids, but it's meant to be mostly for hunting, of course, and also for combat when you go raiding, and we are being raided, you know, because that is going to come, you know. So that is a tool, a weapon that is already planned for human raids, and of course for increased betterment of the hunters. And we also have a different type of hoe, which will increase efficiency a lot. I don't know when that will be released, but it is in testing and has been in testing for quite some time. And there will also be more tools with as are kind of like same tools we have now, but with different materials. So they will have different longevity and different performance percentage and stuff like that. And you know, so there will be several new tools. Okay, let's go have a look and see here. Okay, so if this is really nice and cool, I'll stay. No, seriously, I will stay, and then I will make another video where we build up the camp and see how far we can get. Because it could be too difficult. I could have my ass handed to me. Who knows? You never know. It might be a mistake. Lily the fail, you know, the fail video. Set sail for epic fail, you know. It could be horrid. Who knows? So yeah, also just to clarify again, I never use any footage, screenshots or videos that is not made by me. So when you see, when you recognize pictures and screenshots that has my name on it, it means that I made it. And if you see others are using them, then it's not theirs. It's actually belonging to AC. Oh, hello. I like it. Look at that. Oh, I like this. Look at the stones. Look how cumbersome it is. Like, it's going to be difficult to get huge areas. I'm going to have to build in batches. I love that. We do have fiber. We have tons of reed. Look at all the reed. Oh my god. We also have batches of fiber. And we are, of course, going to have a bit of flax farm because we need to feed the animals as well. That is great. It looks good. I think we want to stay here. Look, there are stones, there are mud. There's downy willows, which also gives fiber. There's plenty tall grass here to start with, at least. Lots of forest. You know, I think I'm going to plunk my ass down here. I think we're going to stay. You can stay. We're going to stay here, I think. Yeah. I do like the view. I really like it. Now let's have a look. Let's speed and see what we have here. Oh, we have horses, but we have few horses. I'm going to take away the horses and the cattle. Oh. And those. So that means these guys can go down and just do the rats and the hares. Leave everything else to the other group, the main group. We don't need 12. I think we're going to put on 10, yeah. Fishermen, you guys can have a limit to start with. We just have to see how well we're doing. We could actually have too little food, and then I just need to adjust. And you guys are gonna get a lot of logs, a lot of logs. We're going to prepare for sedentary life. We are starting early. I don't expect to get farming at least for another 1,000 years, at least. Or maybe I could get lucky. It could happen, you know. Let's sort the crafters with proper tools, and I'm gonna leave that because we're gonna clear, because we have a lot of access. We're gonna clear space, but we're not gonna have continued 50 access. That's not gonna happen. So this is going to be the crafter materials I'm gonna use. Then I'm gonna remove that from the other group, because that one is going to have more of the high usage material. Let me see, this one, that one, and fiber. So bones we need, that one roughly 100, I think. And this like 200-ish, 250-ish. Because we're going to use a lot of baskets, because we need to have enough service points for everyone to help themselves with meals. So now you guys are going to go there, and not you, and not you, and not you. But they are going to get the mud and the reed. Yeah, and they're going to get a limit. Everything is going to get a limit. The limit might change, and it will change. As people grow, you will change the limits, you will change how much you get, you change the work spots, maybe even the name of the group, depending on how you play it. Really individual. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah. What do you have? What do we not have? We don't have eggnots, but they will come. As you can see, we have none of the seeds that we need. For now, they could come back. And I can see that we have these, yeah, acorns that we're going to feed the cattle with, or the animals. so they're gonna get that. So that's good. I had to fight the devs to get oak up here by the coast this timeline, but they actually were here, although not in huge amounts. And I found evidence, of course, and presented it. And then we got oak up here as well. And that simplifies things so much with regards to feeding of your livestock. Not like you're going to have a ton of livestock here anyway. You're lucky if you get 30 cattle or 30 put together. Because remember that hardcore has much less animals coming with migrants, much less frequency, while beginners literally have it every group of migrants will have some livestock to bring with. Okay, I think that's going to be it. Next video I'm making, we are actually going to do the camp. We're gonna prepare for Neolithic, we're gonna prepare for farming, we're gonna prepare for animal raids, we're gonna prepare for having livestock. We are literally going to prepare to be sedentary as a hardcore tribe. And since we are so few, we should be okay. It's the really huge one that is an issue, right? But that is for next time. So until then, have fun and take care.